Hello and welcome to Horatio's review of the x1mk3 from Native Instruments. Native Instruments x1mk3 is a big step up from the actual MK2 and the MK1 and is a much needed upgrade to those. What you can easily see here, one of the biggest things that they added this 3-port USB with an outside power adapter, which has 6 different types of power adapters depending on the actual part of the world that you are. International DJ, you are going each part of the world. If you are in the UK, you have a different power adapter, and if you are in the USA, it's a total different. So Native Instruments was really cool in thinking of ahead and adding these. One important mention that I forgot to add is that the actual controllers have on the buttons, they have like small tweaks, and you can even see them here and here, and they are, how to say, they are designed with a Braille sign language on them. So if you are playing in a club and you don't want to take a look at the computer, you can easily touch the buttons and you can easily feel that which button is and what it is doing, because it's really helpful when it has like a special small thing, and you can touch them. And the Braille system, the Braille sign language, it's really helpful, and I think it's a really cheeky and cool add and the finest touch for these beautiful controllers. I think it's a nice addition to them, and I think that you will enjoy them. The x1mk3 has cables from USB-B to Type A, but I don't use them. I prefer to use my own cables, which are USB Type-C, because my Mac has Type-C. But I can easily use like an outside USB port or something. They are working fine with these, so it's not a problem. One of the biggest things that I noticed about the new controller is that it's much more thicker and it's much more longer than the old ones. It's like this big, so it's much more easier for us, which are people like me, which are more bigger or have bigger hands. And when you are pushing the buttons or twisting the knobs, if they are too little, you tend to lose them, or you tend to not to press them properly. And I'm really happy that they made it bigger, because it's much more easier to twist them or to change them and to work with them. The mixer function that they added on the x1mk3, it's really cool, because it is like a proper mixer for the deck 1 and for the deck 2 in this case, because my controllers are like deck 1, deck 2, deck 3 and deck 4. So on deck 1 you have, these are the volumes, right? These are the, if you see here and here, are the headphones, right? But they can work as volume for the internal mixer. So basically you can use this controller as an internal mixer when you are, for example, using it at home and you don't want to power up all your hardware just for a single, thing. And these buttons are working like this. These are for highs, mediums and lows. These are the kill buttons. So when you are playing, for example, on the old school mixers, they had this kill button for the medium or for the low or for the high, which it's really helpful, because if you are mixing techno and you are doing fast transition, it's really helpful. They are already mapped and you can easily use them in the internal mixer mode. So it's high, medium, lows, and this is for the volume, right? So I can switch on and off the volume. The lower part is like a normal part with the browser and the looper and the cue points placing, it stays the same. But the upper part, it's really cool that the actual controller transforms itself into a mixer. And what is really cool is this. For example, I can use this controller for the A and B as a proper mixer, and this controller for the C and D. So basically I can mix without using a mixer, just using the internal mixer of the Traktor with the controllers, which is absolutely fantastic. Also, the controllers are coming with Traktor 3.10, and the Traktor and Native Instruments were kind enough to send me, and I gave it a full test, and it's really stable and I like it, and it adds a little bit more to the Traktor. If you will check the settings, and you will see that they have a special menu for it, and you can even super customize them there. You can easily, for example, I prefer shift and the pitch bend for the actual beat jump, because I like to mix and sometimes the tracks are like not properly synced and I want to beat jump them, so I map the shift and back arrow for the beat jump 1, right? And in normal mode, the back arrow or the front arrow are the pitch bends, or which you can use in the sync. So this is like a really cool function, and as usual, Native Instruments went out of the way to use the double function options for it. One of the biggest things that you can see on the X1mk3 are the 5 LED screens, which I really like them because they are really helping you see the effects or the function, and they are really helping you keeping the eyes on the actual controller, and you are not staying all the time with the eyes on the computer, and you are not losing the focus. So it's really, really nice. All these 5 LEDs, they are giving you straight information over what you are doing, or what about the effects, or about everything that you are doing. So they are really, really helpful for matching and focusing your attention on the actual controller, not staying with the eyes on the computer. The effects, which I like the fact that they put the effects up here, because when you are mixing, you are always, twisting and changing the knobs, and the effects are, I want to add them, or I want to power them on and off. So for example, if I power them on, and then I can easily twist them and change them, so they are not somewhere here down. Us, the DJs, are always sitting with the hands on the mixer and hands on the controllers. So I really like them. It has like 4 different knobs, which they are for the effects as well. Also, this is for deck A, this is for deck B, this is for browsing and loading. So basically you can load, you can browse. Same here. Also, this is for looping. Each button, usually from Native Instruments controller, has like a double function. So if I press shift, we all know the people which are using more digital gear, we tend to have like 2 or 3 different functions. So if I press shift and I press an effect, I can easily switch them over. If you go downer, here are the 4, if you check a little bit downer, here are 4 buttons for the cue points, so you can set up 4 different cue points. Also you can set up as well cue loops. Also, these 2 are I call them the pitch bands, because I'm an old school DJ, and on the old school CD players there were the pitch bands. So basically these are playing that role. Rather than using the actual turntable or the actual CD player to sync, you can easily pitch band these, and this function was on the actual old CD player, so it's a welcome addition to the controller. It has also reverse. The reverse button functions with the flux mode on. When you are pressing reverse, the track actually goes forward, and when you are releasing them, track goes exactly from the place where the flux left. So it's really, really helpful for doing cool tricks, like you are reversing something and you are letting it go. I really like it. Also, it has like a big play button and a big sync button. The play button is green and the sync button is blue. When the tracks are not synced, the sync button goes red, and this is really helpful, because if you sing in a club where you are checking this on the actual club where everything is dark and you can't see much of the lights from the actual DJ setup, you don't have the headphones, and you can easily see that the tracks are not synced. So basically, if I'm pushing it and it will go blue, that means it's synced. Even so, I kindly ask you guys to check with the actual headphones if the tracks are synced or not, because grid is not set properly in Traktor. The tracks, even though they are showing it here on the actual control that they are synced, they will not be synced. So always check with the headphones as well. But in the actual, like I said, in a darkened club or in a place where you don't have enough lights, this function that the buttons are changing the lights depending on the actual, in a club, if you don't have enough lights and the button is blinking red or is actually lighting red, that means the tracks are not synced. So if I'm pressing them and the button is blue, that means it is synced. Even so, I strongly recommend to listen them in your headphones, so you can see if they are properly synced, because some tracks, they are not respecting the actual grid, right? So you have to properly prepare your set ahead and set your own grid and have everything done by the book ahead of the actual DJ set. But even so, in a less light club or in a place where is not enough light, this function is really helpful, because the lighting of the actual controller shows you exactly that the track is not synced, right? So I can easily push it and resync it back, and I can continue my mixing without even listening my actual headphones. So it's a very important function in my opinion, because sometimes you need a visual cue so you can see exactly, not just listen, because after a couple of hours you tend not to distinguish the frequencies, you know, the ears are getting tired. So it's a really important function, the visual. Also, another thing which I saw on the actual controllers when I tested them, when you are playing, for example, here is green, so on the actual backboard you have these lights which are green, and this signals you that the track that is on this deck, it's on actual loop. So in this way you have like another visual cue where you can see exactly, hey, the track is on a loop. You can easily, let's make some space. Okay, you can see exactly what is happening. So for example, if you are in the club, you tend to lose your focus because there are a lot of people around you, there are a lot of people in front of you, there are a lot of things happening around you, and they are taking almost your attention. So this green light, or if it is red blinking, because it happens, for example, another function that they added, it is red blinking, that means the track is almost done, it's finished, so you need to change it. And that's really important, because for example, you can see it here, it's really blinking, right? That means the track is ending and you have to be prepared, or you can easily loop it, and you can already see that the lights have changed and they are green, and now it is looped and I can easily mix with another track. But if I'm switching off the loop, they will blink and they will signal you, hey, the track is ending, what you are doing. Because as I said, you tend to lose your focus, and it's really good that Native Instruments added this extra light focus so you can see it, not just hear it, you know. Also, another big thing which I really like is that they added on the actual effects group, they added the moding, you know. So for example, if I want to change on the fly the actual FX group, and for example, look here, there is no effect. So if I want to load an effect, I can easily load an effect, right? Here is another effect, right? And I can switch them on the fly. For example, on this track I want to use the flanger, and if I'm mixing with another track, or next time when I mix, I'm gonna use a delay, and so on. And basically each button can be mapped out in real time with another effect, which is fantastic. And thank God that Native Instruments listens to its customers, and it gives us this function as well. One of the biggest things and biggest addition, at least in my opinion, is that it has like FX1 and 2. You press once, FX3 and 4 for the 3 and 4 group. What can I say? What I love about this is that you can easily plug them in at the CD players or at the turntables, and you can have the best of the both worlds. You can easily play and sync everything through Traktor, and you can plug in sticks, or you can plug in other gears. I think that these were created, at least in my opinion, for a more hybrid set. At least this is how I want to use them. I want to use them as a backbone for my next year's hybrid set. So I will, next year, this is like an exclusivity, I will play full hybrid set for a whole year, because I want to test all the new gear, and I want to give another dimension to those famous Horatio sets. So thank you once again to Native Instruments and to Mike Henderson for sending these, and I hope that you enjoyed my review. And if you have questions, leave them in the actual video, or send me your question on Instagram, Horatio Official, or on Native Instruments, and we will be happy to respond them as fast as we can. Thank you for everyone. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and enjoy this. I wish you have a beautiful day. Peace. Horatio. Thank you, Native Instruments, and Mike Henderson especially, the legendary Endo, for sending these two controllers, and I'm really happy that I can review them for you.